In this lesson, we'll be creating a cam setup for 2D cutting on a Waterjet. After completing this lesson, you'll be able to create a new cutting setup, set up work coordinate system, and define stock. For this lesson, we're going to start setting up the program to cut our chassis using a Waterjet machine. If you want to carry on with your file, go ahead, or you can upload the file FPV Racing Chassis V7 supplied with the course. To get started, let's navigate from the model workspace to the cam workspace. We want to get started by creating a new setup. Now, setup is what's going to tell Fusion the criteria about your part, the stock, the coordinate system, the types of operations you're doing, as well as any post-processing specifications. So we're going to start by using the operation type cutting. This will signify to Fusion that we're using a 2D cutting operation. This means Waterjet, laser cut, or wire EDM. For the model orientation, we want to make sure that the Z coordinate is pointing up. So we need to change the orientation by setting it to Z and X axis. And what we can do is we can select the Z axis to be our current Y, and that'll point it vertically, and we don't have to adjust the X axis. We do want to reset the stock point. We're going to set it to the upper left-hand corner. The coordinate depends specifically on how you set your machine up, if you're nesting multiple parts, and where you like to locate the coordinate system. In some instances, it might be at the center of the part, might be in the lower left-hand corner, or you might be using the upper left-hand corner as we did here. In the stock section, we're going to use the default parameters for relative size box, but I do want to note that the stock bottom offset is set to 0, and we want to set the stock top offset to 0 as well. This will allow it to add a millimeter to each side in the X and Y direction, but there's no additional stock on the top or bottom. So this is a realistic case when we're talking about doing a Waterjet or laser cut part where you start with the end stock size. Under post-processing, we can put in a program name, a number. We'll put in FPV Chassis V7, and you can have specific WCS offsets. If you're setting up multiple programs to run on your machine and you're not nesting them all inside of Fusion, you can set up multiple work offsets to run those programs at different coordinate systems. For now, we're going to leave those set to 0 and we're going to say OK. Let's go back to a top view. Let's fit to screen. Let's go ahead and save our file.